welcome to the MailleWerX Chainmail Livestream. My name's Sean, I run MailleWerX.com. And tonight, we're going to have a chat about all the events of today, that's for sure. And we're going to do some work on some chainmail here. Alright, what do we got? What do we got going on? I did a little work earlier today. Got that N all wrapped up. I just got the apostrophe and the S now. And all the black outline work will be done for this portion. And then we'll start taking out all these gold rings and replacing them with yellow. We'll see how it goes. So today was a hell of a day. I might need rings for this. Alright, I was able to work on a project that I had been putting off, and it was actually easier just to get it done. But I was rushing and I screwed it up. I was working on some leather lacing, and the punched holes for the leather lacing did not, there weren't enough of them. I needed to have double the numbers to make the lacing tight enough to match all the rest of the lacing on the vests. And then I did also switch over my motorcycle vest extenders. They all have the little slots punched in, the leather part of the button snaps, and they're all hooked up. So that was kind of frustrating. What else did I do? I fixed my wallet today too. I added some waxed leather cord to fix it, so I just, little stuff laying around needs to be finished up and gotten rid of before, well, as quickly as possible, actually. But the lacing on the motorcycle vest is a good example of why I need to spend more time thinking about what I'm doing before I do it. Even though that project sat around for months and months and months, I didn't look at the rest of the lacing on the vest prior to finishing the lacing on the back. It was like, once I got it done, I realized the lacing was twice as, loose, I guess, as the rest of the vest. So, but yeah, real surprised this morning. Woke up, saw that Ukraine was being invaded, and then it only lasted for about half the day, because, I'm sure it's still going on and everything, but the amount of impact that had on my day today only lasted up until about 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, and then I got distracted by other things, so it's a crazy time. There is no good war. There is no, if you ever discussed just war theory, right? It's just that. It's just a theory. It's a crock of shit. There's no just wars. War sucks. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And so I feel pretty bad about what's going on over there and how it's being handled. I watched as many world leaders speak today as I could find, I guess. And I'm not impressed with their actions. I think that it's far too little to prevent anything, and so I don't think that they're serious about preventing anything. War on hunger, maybe one of the only ones you're for. A war on hunger? Yeah, okay. Trying to feed people? I can get behind something like that. Right? Like, I'm not behind the war on drugs, that's for sure. Drugs won the war on drugs. Of that, I have no question. Drugs won. It's time to recognize that fact and move on accordingly. But a war on hunger? I love to eat. This is like nursery rhyme music? What is going on? It's kind of annoying because I paid for the Pretzel Rock service. Wasn't much. But I did pay for it, and to be frank, I still get videos flagged occasionally, right? So that's annoying. Okay, and then the music selection is a lot of stuff I don't listen to. So I try to keep it, instrumental and non-confrontational music. What I end up with is this stuff that wants me to go to sleep, apparently. Alright, next. War on drugs is like war on medicine. It's stupid and wrong, and false policing is furthering issues. Yeah. Yeah. Who was it? Portugal decriminalized all drugs, and their drug rates went down. Seattle, was it Seattle or Portland? I don't remember. Did something similar. I don't know. I have no idea how it's affected their drug use, but that part of the world's on fire too. Portland, anyway. So, but I've no interest in using in having police stop someone from injecting something into their own body, right? Or consuming something. Okay. If that person gets out of control publicly, okay, well, that's what police are for. But there's plenty of unsolved murders, unsolved rapes, unsolved kidnappings. Human trafficking is becoming a huge problem in the States. I don't think most people realize it. Because it's not sexy, right? It's not sexy to think that America has this problem. And it's not sexy to highlight the problem. So people are just like, don't do drugs. We'll sick the cops on you. Hey Peg, how you doing? And hi John, I don't know if I said hi. We're talking about drugs. So I'm generally in favor of someone doing whatever they want inside the privacy of their own home. Okay. Clearly, you know, spousal or child abuse, not okay, but you want to take your drug of choice not in public, not while driving a vehicle. Okay, whatever. Legalize it. Tax it like alcohol. In fact, I'm not even for taxing it. Built a new flow prop tonight. And am I sharing the drugs? I don't have any drugs. I smoked weed all of one time back in, God, how old was I? 18, 19, so maybe 20. So 2001, 2002. And I was drunk at the time. I got the spins, and we'd all gone outside I smoked a cigarette and they were smoking weed, and I was peer pressured into taking a hit. And I stepped out of the car, I got the spins, and I ended up, because I was so intoxicated, I just threw up the rest of the night. And I really haven't tried it since. I don't really have any interest. There are a few drugs I want to try, and I will try eventually, but being a nurse up to this point, it's kind of a bad idea to mix healthcare with drugs. But now that I won't be working in healthcare anymore, I guess it doesn't matter what I do. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. You're a fan of it? If it harms none, do as you will. Yeah, pretty much. Puking your guts out tends to leave a negative imprint on substances. Yeah. I just got really sick, and then I was never interested in it again, you know. I've had the opportunity to, but turned it down because I was in healthcare. So, propping up the drug war actively props up the wars with the cartels. It makes the country to the south of us a more violent place. It makes our environment a more violent place. You know, legalize it, have it prescribed by your doctor, get it from a pharmacy, don't tax it, and don't even legalize it, decriminalize it, right? I have all kinds of criticisms about the American Medical Association, but I have a good doctor right now that I'm about to lose, and I tell him everything that goes on with me, right? And he responds, and I think he appreciates how honest I am with him. But that's the guy that's got to keep me going, okay? No matter what I do to myself, that's the guy I'm relying on, or woman, to make sure that I got all the right stuff I need and I'm doing all the right stuff to keep me alive and comfortable. So I think, yeah, you know, go tell your doctor you want some heroin because you're a heroin addict, whatever. And, you know, decriminalize it. You can get however much you want, whatnot. Or you can get a dose of something. However much you want is probably bad for certain drugs. Just because you can overdose on them. Right? and you know, there would be legal ramifications if a doctor prescribed it, probably. You know, but you know, tell your doctor you're going to do drugs. All right, there's just like there's attorney-client privilege, there's doctor-patient privilege. They're not going to go rat you out. But, you know, should something happen to you, they will know that, oh, you have a history of using certain substances, and that might be why you have a problem with X, Y, or Z. So if I do any drugs, I will tell my doctor, whoever that is at the time. But all of the arguments against decriminalizing it or legalizing it, or no politician wants to be the one that's like, yeah, we legalized heroin, you know. They'll just get a ton of flack for that for forever. That's what they'll be known for. But it's like, okay, yeah, we legalized heroin, and then we found out how many heroin addicts we had after Big Pharma came through and got everyone addicted to opioids. And we started selling pure heroin through the pharmacies, and we started using the tax money to treat heroin addicts and get them into therapy to discuss, you know, whatever, you know, whether it's physical therapy or talk therapy or whatnot, to help them move forward so they don't continue to suffer from whatever traumatized them into taking drugs in the first place. And it's a bit utopian, right? But and you know, shit might happen, like kids getting a hold of drugs, but kids get a hold of drugs now. They have no idea the amount of rampant drug use that goes on. Ooh, that apostrophe looks good. Look at that. Woohoo! I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, simply the argument to if you legalize it and tax it, right? Use the money to help pay for treatment. Whatever else the rest of the consequences are of that decision, right? There are still positive ramifications, like reducing competition with the cartels down in Mexico, making our southern neighbor a less violent country. You want to complain about people coming from the south, you know, from Mexico, but the laws in this country actively work to create that area a hellhole, you know, so that's a problem. That's, you know, seems easily fixed. And like I said, I don't even do drugs. Well, caffeine, nicotine. I do caffeine and nicotine. That's another thing too, right? Is like all the laws coming out about vaping. recently, like you can no longer ship vaping devices or vaping juice through the mail. So I gotta call my my dealer up and let her know that I need some juice for my vape, and then I have to go pick it up. And of course, her shop's been shut down from COVID for the longest, and she eventually had to close that shop. She opened up a new one, but I feel bad for her. The initial shop was much nicer, but she'll get this next one going. It was just stupid, right? She lost a bunch of her customers because she could no longer ship to them. Anyway, we do some dumb things as a country. Or dumb things get done in our name, proverbially. I think that's a better way to assess the situation. I did find it interesting that as Ukraine was being invaded, in one of the cities, I don't remember which one, right, they decided to arm the populace. And so I guess they had 10,000 AK-47s that they were handing out to civilians. This is a group of people that, like, they don't have Second Amendment rights over there, right? But now all of a sudden, we're gonna give everybody a gun, and it's like, you're gonna give a bunch of untrained people fully automatic firearms and expect them to protect against the invading army, right? People will write books about how bad of an idea that was. I'm not saying these guys won't go out and, defend their country and do it well, but you've just added several layers of risk to the equation that didn't have to be there had you just let people own firearms. Like I said, I'm not 100% certain on what the gun laws are over there, but I don't think they're as friendly towards civilians owning firearms as we are here. Hey Rick, how you doing? Hope everyone's having a great night. I hope you're having a good night. It's good to see you. I was actually just watching Rick stream a little bit ago. And I'm not, in regards to my position on drugs, I'm not a hippie. I don't use drugs. I have no particular desire. I don't care whether they're, whether they're legalized or decriminalized or not doesn't affect me, right? But legalizing them or decriminalizing them can be a net positive for me, because that frees up a lot of tax dollars, helps make Mexico a less violent place, brings competition to the cartels, who are basically being given a monopoly on the distribution and disbursement of illegal substances. No one is legally allowed to compete with them, so they can charge what they want. You know, I mean, yeah, okay, there's a market. It's only gonna, you're only gonna be able to charge so much, but they don't have any other competitors coming in. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do. All right. They don't have any competitors coming in. Like, if Target starts selling heroin out of their pharmacy, okay, they're only going to be able to charge so much because there's going to be taxes associated with it. And HEB or Aldi's, or, well, I guess Aldi's doesn't have a pharmacy. HEB's a grocery store down in Texas. Albertsons, you know, Albertsons across the street from Target. Fred Meyer across the street from Target. They're also going to be selling heroin from their pharmacy. And the two companies will have to meet each other's prices, right? Because you can't get it one place, just go across the street and get it from the other if it's cheaper. You know, that's how price discovery works, right? You have one person who's willing to sell at X, one person who's willing to sell at Y, and the customers get to choose what they think the product is worth. So cartels don't have that competition. They have basically a legal monopoly. Well, is it legally enforced monopoly over the distribution and disbursement of drugs? Because no one else can come up and start selling without the government getting involved, without the U.S. government stopping them. So while it doesn't necessarily benefit me directly, because I'm not a substance user. I don't party. I'm a square, right? There are other benefits. For example, if you curtail the cartel's actions down in Mexico, you can help reduce the human flow of bodies across the southern border. You know, and if you're really opposed to people coming across the border, you would think that you would also, you're a square with rounded corners. You would think that you would also want drugs legalized or decriminalized. Alright. Come on, where's the opening to this? It's always the ring who has the perfect closure that you gotta open. Yeah, I've just, you know, since I haven't had a drink since New Year's, right? And since then, I don't really miss it, and I've lost a bunch of weight, and I'm like, okay, I don't need this in my life. I don't have to have a drink, you know. What made you decide to read the outline and the text on this? Because you couldn't read it. There were a number of things I had to do on here that needed to be done. It looks a lot better? Good, I'm glad you like it. So I was just looking in it at pictures, and I said to myself, okay, I have some black here, but I don't have enough. Maybe if I outline it in black, it'll look better. And then I started working on it, and here I'll, right? But look at that. Isn't that pretty? It looks a ton better. And then the gold's gonna get black lined all around it. And the gold's actually gonna get changed to a yellow. And what made me decide to do that was because I don't have enough of this color gold ring to do all the scroll work on the bottom half of this inlay, right? So I gotta change that color to something I have enough of. And then the green's never gonna match. I'm gonna have dark greens, light greens, teals, some really greenish blue, some blue-green. I'm not gonna get that to match. I tried, and I just want to get this finished and have it look good. Makes it pop more for sure. Good. But I did a lot of mistakes in not doing the prep work for this, not figuring out how many rings I would need. Just no planning. 18 gauge 1/4 inch Euro 6 in 1. Oh, why did I do that? Fish that out now. So I did a little bit of math. I counted up how many across, how many down, and came up with about 14,500 rings so far. And this is less than half of the inlay. So I ordered some samples from the Ring Lord, just an ounce of each ring color, right, in 18 gauge 1/4 inch. See, I'm gonna see how well they match up. The AR is close. Hopefully it's close enough. And so a little change in the aspect ratio won't do too much to change how the inlay lays, but I'm hoping they'll work. Like these rings right here, I got a measurement of 5.7, and then the rings from the Ring Lord, they say they're 5.5, right? So I'm hoping it's close enough. But like the Raiders inlay, I needed to do a lot of work on that one in order to get that, you know, to a project that looked good. And I had to make it 4 times, I mean, maybe not 4 times. I had to make it several times larger than I originally thought I would have to, in order to get the detail with this size of ring. So that's why I decided to do it, because I wanted, you know, I didn't like the fact that you could look at it and you couldn't tell where the silver, I couldn't tell where the silver started and the gold began when I first started looking at it, and then I realized that they kind of just blended into each other, and I didn't like the way that looked, and so I was like, alright, you know what? Excuse me, if I'm gonna do it right, then let me do it right. Or if I'm gonna do it at all, let me do it right. So, just like the leather lacing that I did today that I thought was too loose, but I didn't really realize how badly I'd screwed it up until I was done, right? I'm gonna tear all that out. I'm gonna punch, you know, twice the amount of holes I have, and then hopefully I will be able to make it match the rest of the vest. So it didn't take me very long to do. It's one of those things that I was putting off for far longer than necessary. I knocked it out this morning and I was like, oh, that didn't take long. Even though I screwed it up, it still is just like, okay, I should have just knocked this out. It was dumb to wait to do this, you know? Come on. Nope. You don't go in there. So yeah, I ordered some green rings and some black rings from TRL. I hope they fit. We'll see. I don't really have a choice, right? Like getting the colors to match, it's not something I can worry about anymore necessarily. You know, what green I have is the green I'm gonna use, and then if the rings that come are a little bit off, you know, I'm gonna have to use them in order to finish this, and it's just gonna be what it is what it is at that point. If I want this finished, I'm already redoing a ton of the top half of this just to make it look right. I'm not gonna I'm not going to replace all of these rings that I've already connected. You know what I mean? So the aspect ratio is hopefully just close enough that I'll get away with it. Everybody's names are blue and it's really hard to see who's saying what. It's kind of odd. Usually they're not blue. I don't know why they are tonight. Edging your design was a perfect decision. Well, thank you. You've now winged blue duck. The second wing went together a lot quicker than the first. Nice. Good job. Because I'm looking over here and I see Peg and Rick, and maybe it's just their names that are blue. No, John's name was blue too. And I thought that I had read all the comments, and then I looked up and I see these comments from Peg. So I apologize for missing your comment there. I get why they decided to arm citizens, but that just opens up so much room for so many other things to go wrong. Okay, firearms are not toys. If you have a firearm, you should train with one, and you don't have to be gung-ho going out to the range once a week, you know, doing live fire exercises like your Keanu Reeves and John Wick. You know, you just need to know. No, I didn't click and drag on accident and highlight folks' names. That's just, I can't even do that in this scenario. As far as I can tell, it wasn't anything anyone did. I don't think I did anything, and you guys don't pick your name color before you show up on here, so I have no idea what's going on. So, but if you do own a firearm, you should at least fire it occasionally and know how it works. And I'm sure that most of these men who went to go grab an AK-47, being from the region of the world that they're in, have worked with these weapons before. But you would never see that in an American city. A mayor like, oh, let's open up an armory. If the city even had an armory. And hand out guns to civilians. Like, that would never happen here. Even if we weren't as armed a populace as we already are. don't... And here's another thing too, right? Most of the civilians that surrender, everyone should have some training in firearms, even if never planning on getting one. Just never know. Yeah, it's a decision everyone's got to make for themselves, right? But, you know, I think that in today's world, the right thing to do for yourself is prepare a little bit for bad things to happen, and getting a little firearms training definitely wouldn't hurt. So, here's my concern, right, with that particular situation in that region of the world. Okay? If you're fighting to defend Ukraine, you will be viewed as the opposition and a threat, and you're not, you know, people are going to fire back at you. Whereas if you are a civilian without a firearm and the Russians come in, right? Yeah, okay, it may not be fun, but you're less likely to die if you're not showing any resistance. And I mean, to be honest, to be frank, I don't think Ukraine has a chance in stopping this. So I think that letting a populace that doesn't have the ability to own firearms themselves, which again I'm not sure about, letting them arm themselves and go and fight to protect their country, noble idea. I think it's bad in practice. Safety just in case you even come across a loose one. Better know how to secure it than not. Yeah, I mean, just, you know, rudimentary firearm training on how to take a weapon and make it safe is beneficial, because you never know what you're going to run into in the world. We'll see what happens. I don't know, my prediction is that in the next 96 hours, Ukraine will be a part of Russia again. And that's another thing too, right, is a lot of the people in that part of the world are ethnically Russian. So I hate to see, you know, people who might be related to each other shooting at each other. You can't truly call yourself peaceful unless you're capable of great violence. If you're not capable of violence, you're not peaceful, you're harmless. Yeah. There's all kinds of ways to be an effective resistor. But if if they were untrained, taking firearms from the city armory, I don't know. I think it just raises their risk of death or injury. That's not to say that people shouldn't fight to protect their country or anything. I just think it's a recipe for disaster. It's one of those things that, you know, a decision made in a split second that no one thought through. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all these guys, having been in that region of the world, grew up, everyone had an AK-47 in their household. Right? Maybe they all know how to use it, and maybe they all know how to defend themselves. I know that's not the case here in the States. And if that ever happened here, that would just... it would be a powder keg waiting to blow. Anyway. Yeah. That whole thing comes down to organization of the handout. Was it arranged? They showed up and got taught how to load, reload, and dejam the gun, or just dropped off door to door? They went downtown and picked them up from an armory and went to go defend their city. I'm 100% certain they didn't have time to go shooting at a range because they were actively being invaded by the Russians. So... you know... which is another thing too, right? If you're someone who's not familiar with the firearm and you go down and pick up an AK-47, I mean, you might have seen movies, but you might also not have any idea how to load it, how to turn off the safety, or how to make it go boom. It was willing to take up the cause versus force with hopes it was more enthusiastic than demanded arm. Oh, no. It was completely voluntary for anyone who wanted to go down and grab a firearm. Right? Like, no one was being forced to go down and get them. But there were armed troops outside the city trying to get into the city. So... low on black. Isn't it blue on black? Blue on black. Something, something, something. Da 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 da. From there, you wonder what the objective course is in these cities. Well, I mean, as they're toppled, they go back to become a part of Russia for however long Russia can hold it, you know. It's contested territory and goes back and forth, you know, quite often. Like, do I... I have no idea why the Russian president has decided to go and do this. But it's not exactly... like, they just had a coup in 2014. The bricks, the population, they plan to move in a whole city of folks who just sweep up the shells and call it home, or military occupied? I'm sure it'll be military occupied for a while. And the tax man will come in and take everybody's name, write down their address, and say, hey, you owe us X amount of dollars every year in taxes. Have a nice day. You know, or however you say have a nice day in Russian. You get to military places, these cities have barracks and supplies like some states do. I have no idea. I imagine just because of the history of the place that they have something. If they have an armory with 10,000 AK-47s in them, I'm sure that they have something. Right? I guarantee you, the town I'm in does not have 10,000 AK-47s in them. The only people here who are armed are armed civilians, cops, and criminals, and that's it. Kroshego Danya? Danya? I don't know how to pronounce that. Is that how you say have a nice day? So that's a thing about translations, right? Like, would you say have a nice day in Russian? Or would you say have a nice day, comrade? Is good day in the Russian. Is good day, no? Be interesting to see what happens. I'm looking forward to the weekend. Anybody got any big plans? I got a birthday to celebrate, not mine. I gotta find something to do. I did have some gifts, but one's not here yet, and there's a big snowstorm coming in tomorrow. So if you watch Russian Gadget Guy, that I find myself looking up translations of things how he talks. That's funny. Going up to Appleton for another Flow Jam thingy. Nice. Facebook friend posted that what do you call it? What do you call it? Gaelic Storm is coming to DeKalb. And if you know, like, Flogging Molly, Gaelic Storm, a couple others. They have some really good music. I would love to go see them. Alright, there it is. There it is. The whole word Finnegan's is now visible. Right? Well, would you look at that? Look at all that. So pretty. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks good. Alright, let's see if we can do... The gold all has to be outlined, and I've got to make black rings in here to differentiate what piece of scroll work is going which direction, right? So that needs clarification. That's another reason why I decided to add the black. So we got to outline all the gold in black and replace all the gold with a different color of yellow. Not, you know, not something I wanted to do, but I think it's very important that it get done. You know what I mean? Just because it's going to make it look better, and I don't want to put this much work into something without having it look at least as good as I can make it. You know. I gotta celebrate a birthday, and then I have to really start knocking out how I'm gonna go about making money. It's my next step. Figure out how to make money from my house. Clearly, I already have, you know, the website. I've got my Chainmail. And that would give me some money. I don't think it would pay for, yeah, it wouldn't replace my job, basically. So I gotta figure out how to replace my job. So I'm gonna be focused on that as well this weekend. I can't quite retire yet, but soon. I'd like to get to a point where I had enough passive income that I can just do whatever I want. That's my goal. That way I can have fun making chainmail and work on whatever projects I want, not just cranking out pieces for sale, not knowing whether or not they're going to sell or not. So yeah, replacing this gold and outlining it in black is going to be a ton of fun. I can tell that now. And then I'm hoping that I'll be able to do more streaming and get the interviews going. That is something I want to do because I think that would be really good for people in the community, to give them kind of a platform for them to be shouted out on. And I mean, you know, just the art community in general, the chainmail community, the crafters community, right? Just those people. You know, because there's a ton of small artists out there. Ton of Professional crafters. I'm never gonna be on the Today Show. I'm never. I'll never be celebrated, you know, in a big way on some fancy, you know, in some fancy magazine or, I mean, maybe, right? I know a couple people who have done it, but for the most part, I do this small time. And it's like, there's a way to get people and shine a spotlight on them and help them get known. I just gotta figure out how to do that. You know? And am I the right guy for the job? I don't know, but I think I'm the only one doing it. Like, it's something that I would love to have each and every one of you come in on a Zoom call and sit here and chat with me where the focus was on you and your work for an hour. So if anybody's interested, I'm looking for people to interview, by the way. Did 2 TV interviews for your local news last year in your Mahomes jersey. Yeah, I remember that. See? Rick did something amazing. And he was interviewed for it. So it can happen. I shouldn't say, you know. But it's, you know, I don't ever expect that to happen to me, right? You always feel odd thinking your mail as artist painting or sculptor. You feel more like a math teacher of inanimate objects. You feel what might have been aimed at you? Asking if anybody wanted to be interviewed? I'd love to interview you, Peg. %. Any of you. You know, like, I'm doing on this project. It would be awesome if you guys could help me out. You already helped me out tremendously by hanging out with me almost 5 nights a week, right? So the best way to get started, clearly, you know, if I'm sticking true to the whole idea of promoting small artists, the first group of people I would pick from would be you guys. You want an interview victim, you'll throw yourself at the mercy of the camera? Nice. Yeah. We've got to do a little bit of testing, a little bit more setup, and I am almost ready to go. It's one of those things where I'm going to be ready to go, and then it'll be like, okay, I'm almost ready to go. Okay, I'm almost ready to go. And like this stream, I'm just going to have to start doing it with what I have on hand, and improve it as I can over time, right? This stream's 100% better than it was last year, okay? As far as the lighting, the cameras, okay, the background, And I am still working on doing more of that. And then working on being a better streamer. Right, because it's not video games, right? Like, no guy's coming around the corner and I'm going to go, ah! You know? I don't know if you guys watch those videos, but I get those videos all the time because my kids constantly watching YouTube videos of people play video games. And that's how they do. They're screaming every 5 seconds. Is Peg posting on Facebook? Yeah, Peg is posting on Facebook. Can you not see her? I do want to get some like LED RGB lights for the background. So I think that would be a nice touch. You do post on the Evil Book of Faces. You're not seeing any of her posts? I can't tell you why. My Facebook has been incredibly screwy all day today, and it just started today. I kept having to go in and get update my notifications because all right. Oh, damn it. That was not supposed to be a gold ring. It's supposed to be a black ring. You're hidden? Does that mean you can do obscene things on Sean's comments? I mean, you can, and Rick might not be able to see them, but other people might be able to. So I don't know. I had a hard time like getting to comments and seeing people's posts and all kinds of shit today. I don't know if that was because of what was going on in Ukraine, but it's just been sketchy all day. Alright, this is a really like garish color. I'm not quite happy with this color change, but I don't have enough rings to not use it, so oh well. I feel like you have to phone call Facebook for your notifications these days with a free refresh or reset. Yeah, Peg said she'll behave. I would like to, keep the same color that I already have, but the problem is that I tried ordering multiple different orders, and I got different batches of rings from TRL, and none of them matched, and I just got tired of doing that, so I'm not going to do that anymore. The cat is ready for his food and shot. You all have a wonderful night. All right, Rick, have a good night. We're about done here anyway. Soon. Oh man, grab the wrong ring color. You know, I also need to make more money because I need to go buy another gun because Russia might invade us. I don't need a reason to buy more guns. I don't shoot the ones I have enough. That's what I need to go do. I need to go to the range. But in order to go to the range, you have to have ammunition. Definitely don't have enough ammunition, that's for sure. I will get up to a point where I'm making enough money. I can go and buy ammunition, and I'll probably buy a reloader and reload my own brass. Because that's kind of a mindless task. You can, they have them now where you just basically sit and pull a lever, and the brass casing goes around this tray and gets the primer, the powder, the bullet, and shaped. What gun would I buy? A Russian one, maybe Ukraine style. Show your support with the gun. Show your support with the gun you want. I wouldn't mind buying an AK-47, right? I've never shot one. Never had the luxury, but I'd buy one. I want another AR-15 for the house. There are 2 people in this house trained in the use of an AR-15, well, of an M16, of which the AR-15 is a close second. Right, it's functionally, or it's physically the same in everything except the trigger for the most part. So I would like to have one AR-15 for each adult. I've only got one right now. You would like a P90 to go with your airsoft style? Nice. Yeah. I don't need another handgun. I don't need another shotgun. I have several. I should get an airsoft gun so I can put some goggles on my kid and take him out in the backyard and shoot him. So yeah, another AR-15, and then I don't know what else. Some like gaudy, over-decorated, you know, like a Liberace style, gold-plated handgun with my name on it. You like a real pin? Here. So. You use high-end brands with spring kits and gearbox changes. It's not something you want to shoot your kid with anymore. It will put holes through milk jugs now. Nice. Yeah, I haven't played with an airsoft gun since 2004. So I have no idea what they're capable of. And that time they stung like hell when someone shot you. What am I doing? Pushing 11 rounds a second on air. It's nice. Empty 200 rounds real quick. Yeah. Mag dump. Here's a fun game. Barb or Peg, can you guys make machine gun noises? Can you go? For some reason, I don't think any of the women in my life can make machine gun noises. I found that out. I saw an attempt, and it was definitely not. Didn't sound like a machine gun, that's for sure. But all boys inherently know how to make machine gun noises. You can make word noises like that? Okay. I was just curious, because like making noises as a boy, making sound effects for whatever you're doing is like an inherent thing for my son specifically. But his mom sure can't make a machine gun noise. I don't know, maybe she's practiced since we last tried this. I don't know. Jeez Louise. Does he dodge in real life like it makes him dodge in the games better too? Yeah. When he's playing. Like, I'll be watching him play, and all of a sudden he'll just be, like, flailing around, screaming. Oh, okay. Alright. The color's not terrible, right? It's kind of an orangey yellow. Right, see the color transition here I'm working on? And you can see it outlined in black, and it's gonna be a lot of work to replace all this shit. But I think it's gonna be worth it. Like, that color's not terrible, right? No one's answering. Maybe it is terrible. I don't know. You have 3 boys, youngest just turned 6, oldest is 13. I'm sure you've seen it all. Work, yes. Worth it, absolutely. Okay, I'll keep going. Like, it looks... It's not my favorite color, but it's going to work for this. It's a good contrast to the green. I think the end result will be worth it. Outlining it all in black will be worth it. Getting it to look, correct, as best I can, since this project is. I had to have started it in, God, I don't know when. Louisiana, so somewhere in the 05 to 06 is when I started this. It's like, it's time to get it done. Oh, I should zoom out a little bit. Could you use the lighter? Okay, hang on. Let me read that. Could you use the lighter, darker color tone to make more of a two-tone versus replacing all of it and use it to define the overlaps? Yes, you could. I think the problem with that is that the yellow, orangey, this color does not go well with this color. Like, it may look okay on camera. I'm not quite certain how it looks, but it's pretty bad. So you could do that, and I did try and do that. If you look closely at some of the areas where, like on some of the letters on the inside, I tried to shade it in with darker rings. On some of the cross areas where these go, it's the darker colored gold that I have. I tried to delineate what scroll goes where. So yeah, you can. And it's subtle, right? You could do it. But I'm not going to do it. I think just replacing and outlining in black is all I'm going to have the mental capacity for. This is one of those projects where you have to get through it and just force yourself to go through it, like the Raiders inlay, no matter how much motivation you lose on it. And so I figured out a way to do it, and if I had more resources and time, then okay, maybe I'd order a closer color or something, but all these loose strands of scroll work that, like, okay, clearly this strand crosses over this strand, right? So I can put the black rings in to delineate that pretty easily. But when I get to like here, I've got to map out the black rings first and then replace the color. I have to remember to do that. Almost fished another Helm Trinity ball in Argentium, coiled another ounce of 1/10 of an inch now to make the change for them. Whee! I do accomplish things watching and try to spend more time on flyers and typing. Well, I mean, if I can entertain you enough for you to sit here and hang out with me, I appreciate it in any manner in which you participate. You know? I try to make thoughtful commentary that people can relate to, right? And so I do hope people comment. It does. It definitely does make me feel better about doing all of this. But just the fact that you guys are here almost every night, I think that's amazing, and I do appreciate it. No matter how you participate. You know, if you want to sit and weave, join me. I'm glad you're getting stuff done. I too am getting stuff done. You know, and hopefully one day someone will stumble across this stuff, be like, what in the world is that? And it'll be chainmail, and it'll change their life. Because that is what's happened to me. I saw my uncle making it many, many years ago. I figured out how to rig up stuff with my grandparents. I got some pliers from my grandpa, and I was pretty much away, up and away at that point. So now I have chainmail themed apparel and accessories, chainmail leather stamp. I need some chainmail shoes that we were discussing the other night, and a chainmail tattoo that I've been wanting for a long, long time. And then my transformation into the mailman will be complete. Alright, let's see here. Ooh, I didn't realize what time it was. Yeah. So. Alright. You guys like? You like it? It's gonna take forever. Yeah. But we won't be able to work on this here pretty soon. Unless we're just replacing gold rings. Because all the black rings are, that's it, right there. Just those. Just that little bit. That's all I got left. See, here's the fun part is this was probably full when I started this, right? And I'm going to fill it back up, okay? Because I'm going to take all these gold rings out and fill it back up. And then I won't have a use for these rings anymore, so these will get, I'm not keeping them, right? I'm tossing them. Might, you know, maybe if someone wants to pay shipping, I'll send it off to them, but like, I'm trying to work my way through rings, and having to replace them, you know, negates them from me having to use them again. I've already used them once, I don't have to use them again, right? I can throw them away with a clear conscience. I'm not going to try and keep them around and come up with another project to get rid of them in. I will happily throw them in the dumpster or pass them off onto someone else. Oh, I suppose. Okay. I do need to take a picture of this before I put everything away, but yeah. Outlining the gold in black, replacing the gold with this yellow. All the letters. Look at those letters. Isn't it nice? That G's gonna look sick as shit when it's done. This right here is supposed to be a G, right? And that apostrophe looked badass when I put it in, and it looks even better now. I'm stupid happy with how that's come out. CCC to make hanging rope with them. Garbage. To never have to look at them again is my plan. Alright guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I do appreciate you. Oh, real quick, hang on, hang on, I got something to show you. Got all of the motorcycle vest extenders, right, on my vest, and they hang damn near perfectly. So much better than how they were set up previously with those rectangular rings. Oh, and here's... Where'd they go? If you were... This is how smart I am, okay? If you were here last night watching me unhook these Byzantine chains from one of these rectangular rings, like, I could have just opened this up and disconnected them from the leather flap, right? But I sat there like a moron and disconnected each chain. I felt incredibly stupid when I just like opened this up to take it off the leather flap. I was like, oh, I just wasted a whole bunch of time. And then here's the other thing, the back. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. Can I show them to you side by side? Might want to put it on the right camera. Just that. Okay. So this, right? See how tight that lacing is? It looks like how it's supposed to be. Each lacing goes through a ring and then connects to a leather vest on the back. Let's see if I can get these both to show up at the same time. Oh. Okay. This is the old one. This is how it should look. And this is how badly I screwed up the new one, right? Can you see it? It's just so, it's twice as wide as the other one. Anyway, so I gotta tear all of this out. I gotta tear all of this out and redo it because I'm special. Anyway, that's what I was talking about earlier. Alrighty. Okay, guys. I do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for being a part of my life. Thank you for being a part of my stream. Thank you for all your interactions, even if you're just hanging out working on a project. Project. I do appreciate you. Okay? If you do want to be, if you do want to make a guest appearance on the new MailleWerX interviews, I don't know what to call it yet. Help me come up with ideas. Interviews with MailleWerX? I don't know. Something. We'll figure out something. No, because we gotta make it generic. I don't want it to be like, I don't know. I'll figure something out. If you do want to participate in that, if you have a camera and the ability to Zoom call, I would love to have you guys on first before anybody else, largely because you're here every night supporting me, and I do appreciate it. And I want to give you an opportunity to get shouted out and get celebrated. MailleWerX Craft Artist Hour. There you go. All right. With that, it is 10:20. I do gotta get to bed. I think moving forward, the best thing for me is to maintain a schedule of as if I was getting up to go to work every day, and not get into some kind of comfortable lifestyle. I mean, I have to get up and take my kid to school anyway, but like, in order for me to be successful, I'm gonna have to act like I'm working, you know. So it is 10:20. I do have to get up. I do appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for being here, and I will talk to you all tomorrow night, sometime around 9. All right, you guys have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you. Oh, be sure to subscribe if you're on YouTube, follow if you're on Twitch, like and share if you're on Facebook, and I will talk to all of you guys later. You guys have a good night. Bye.